Hey guys, so I'm back at it again with a hero deck profile, and yeah, made a couple changes to it, kind of blinged it out a bit more. So I thought, hey, why not do another deck profile? Even though ban list is coming in the month, and it might change a bit depending on how things go. But I thought, since we've kind of been doing this for a while, might as well just keep consistent, keep doing it. And I did make some changes to this one, so that's kind of why I kind of wanted to show you guys. So let's, without further ado, let's get to it. So we'll start off with the main like we normally do. So start off with 3 Stratos, three of my beautiful, beautiful Stratoses. And pretty self-explanatory. You want to see this, especially when it's going first build that I'm playing. My thought process going first, your opponent is, you're going to take that chance of getting nibbed because most of the time people don't really main deck Nibiru's. It's kind of more of a side deck card. So what I'd like to do going first is I kind of go wombo combo balls to the walls, and if they have it, they have it, and then I'll side appropriately. If you guys know, like I play exchange in my side decks, so that's why I'm not afraid to I'm afraid of the rock. So I kind of try to play through it. And there's two types of philosophies with hero decks. Either you're afraid of the rock, or you limit to 4 summons, or you kind of play past the 5 and you eat it. And that's kind of what I do, because my deck is not very traditional by any means. And as you guys can, if you guys have been following or seeing it for the first time, you'll probably see firsthand as well. So Stratos at 3, I kind of like. And yeah, it usually enables your combos past 5, but at the same time, that's kind of why I want to see it. And it adds to all your plays, your forest combo. Adding the liquid and just kind of going off, and then landing on a nice board. So you play it at 3 because you want to see it. In my opinion, play 1 solid, 1 liquid, 1 mist. So these are pretty self-explanatory. Solid kind of has kind of cool interactions with certain spell cards you play, like polymerization. I'm playing another card in this deck as well too that you'll see, and it definitely helps with that. Adds plays with that as well too, and just even like you get cool kind of interactions with like Raigeki and Dark Hole. You're able to kind of special from the grave and use as a second effect, which is really slept on. I'm actually using him more for his second effect than his first one, in my opinion. Even though his first one kind of does come up, it just kind of leaves you vulnerable to like Imperm or Veiler if your opponent's playing it. It's those hand traps aren't being played as much, even though they are still there. And I don't have the mass change target for Solid Soldier, but yeah, usually I kind of commit to the Solid Soldier summon when I have Forest in hand, so that's kind of my thought process with that. Liquid, usually use them for his draw 2, discard 1 for fusion material, and then save them for the next turn to Miracle with. And but a lot times in my deck, I kind of normal him because I use the Fusion Destiny combo to Turbo Darklaw a lot. And yeah, and that definitely comes up. Shadow Mist, I know a lot of people play him at 2, but I kind of like him at 1 in my deck, and because I don't want to see more than multiples in my hand, even though it's not the end of the world. But it's just like, what are you gonna do? It's just pretty much a brick, because you can only activate 1 mist effect per turn, right? So if both weren't once per turn, then I definitely would play more than 1. But unfortunately, it isn't. So I kind of like. And if I do need the second one, I kind of I recur it with Decider, which I play in this deck at the end of the turn, and use them again for, I don't know, like discard fodder, because when you use Mist as discard fodder, you plus as well too. So yeah, there's that. Play the one Honest Neos. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. You just use him to buff up your monsters. Very rarely you'll summon him. Sometimes you might if you your Wonder Driver gets destroyed and you summon him from hand or something, but it's just very, very rare. Usually use him to boost up Darklaw, Plasma, or Bane or whatever. So important engine over here, probably the most important. You play the Forest, Play 2 increase. Yeah, I know a lot of people been playing 1, but I tried it for a bit and I just can't do it. Like I was bricking with the 1 increase too much and was leaving with very suboptimal hands. I know that the people who do play 1 increase kind of play potted prosperity and super poly at 3 and stuff, and they kind of like they don't mind on being their forest being hit, their forest the vision hero combo being not used because they can do other things, I guess, like just turbo dark and sit on back row or sit on super poly and whatnot and stay under 5 summons. But that's kind of not what I'm kind of going with this build. I'm kind of like trying to push past 5 summons at all times. Like I don't care about the rock. I played through the rock and I try to go through it. So I feel like that's better for decks that are just trying to just stay on Dark Claw and then play back row like Judgments or Super Poly or whatever, and just leave it at that. Kind of play a more control. But for me, like I'm kind of combo orientated, so I kind of want to ensure my combos go off at all times. So that's kind of why I play 2. That's my reasoning behind it. So there's no wrong way of playing heroes. It's just like I didn't like lately that there's certain people like no 1 increase is the correct amount. It's like no, there's a reason why people have been playing it for 2 years, kind of, because it's been working for them. Yeah, someone did well with 1 increase. Hats off to him. It just didn't work for me. It doesn't work with the way I play the deck as well too. And I don't enjoy playing the deck like that, and I don't enjoy being control heavy. Because if I was going to play a control deck, I'd rather just play Guru or Geist or something else. But I kind of play heroes just because I want to swarm the board with an army of heroes so I can just destroy my opponent. And that's how I play personally. 2 Vion. So I was thinking about bringing up to 3. It's just I do see him a lot in my hand every now and then, which doesn't brick my plays, which is good. But at the same time, and he's not bad if it's in my hand or if I need him. So, and if I do need him, I usually play Rhoda, and I search him and all that, and you can kind of go off as well off of that. But yeah, I think he's fine at 2 right for now. I just felt like I needed other cards in my deck as opposed to him, and he's he enables so many plays. He's like a 1 card OTK by himself. Judging by the cards that you can get off the liquid ad, once you dump Mist, add Poly, and then add liquid and kind of go off from there. You just leave. He just pretty much he's at minimum Ab Zero or Escuridao and what's his name, Sunrise, just by himself, which is really, really good. And you can even just go into better cards depending on the cards you have in your hand and the cards you get off the ad off of liquid. And then other important engines. So we play 2 Mali. So I'm not sure if this is ever going to come to 3 until I get a Sonorata, but I'm kind of hoping it does, because it will definitely kind of free up some things in my deck, free up some space. That's the problem with hero decks, is just space is always an issue. You kind of have your set cards you have to play, and then everyone else, the last like 7 or 8 cards are a bit different, just judging by people's preferences. But everyone's like usually 32 cards are like very generally the same. So we play 2 Mali. Yeah. And then we also play 1 Dynatag. Dynatag is actually kind of alright. He is not a brick in your hand. Sometimes actually against Grand Maju players, I kind of add him if I know that my opponent is playing Grand Maju, just so I don't get OTK'd and I survive a turn and I just OTK them back next turn. So like a lot of them don't read cards because they play a dumb RNG heavy deck. So they just try to like super poly, board wipe, kaiju, all this kind of stuff, and then swing for game. They usually go for that rank 8 that turbos out. I forget, it's like that Numeron card or something that OTKs you for like 10k, and then you just put Dynatag, and then you protect yourself, and then OTK them next turn. That's kind of what I try to do. So good card, pretty slept on. He's also used for Dystopia boost. So yeah, in the grave. And one Decider, I feel does not get enough love. I kind of use his that Fusion Destiny play a lot, the one where you get Dark Claw on board. And what I use also is I kind of with Dangerous's ability, which is another card not a lot of people use properly. I dump him into Grave, and then off the Cross Crusader play, I bring him back instead of Mali, and I'm able to get an add at the end of the turn. Most of the time I add the Liquid back, actually, just in case my Dark Claw gets outed, just so I can go back into him again next turn. So I find that's really good. And Decider, like, especially for, it gives you a guaranteed +1, and you get to choose. And most of the time I like choosing Liquid, because most of the time a lot of hero players, they only use Liquid once, but I get to use them twice, sometimes even 3 times in my deck. And Plasma. Yeah, Plasma is really good. Plasma is a very, very good card. Usually if I can't go into Dark Claw, I try to sit on Sunrise Plasma, and most of the time it does pretty well, especially against like Zoo decks, Tri-Brigade, and all that stuff. So yeah, it's a really good card. Would be nice if he had protection, but there's you know, that's kind of the problem with hero decks in general. But he's a skill drain on legs, and boosting up with Honest Neos, making him like 4,400. It definitely is kind of a tough out for a lot of decks, except for the graveyard ones. But that's why we have Dark Claw, right? So if you have him and Dark Claw, a lot of the times it's GG, unless your opponent has, you know, I don't know, Lightning Storm or Dark Hole or whatever and stuff, which you kind of have to, you know, if they have it, they have it. And then we play the Evil Hero Engine, so we have Prodigy, Necrom, and Dusted Gold. So pretty much Prodigy and Necrom are my replacements for the third Mali, so that helps me extend my plays. Yeah, it adds another card, another maybe possible brick in my hand, but I don't really find that these cards are really bricks. You know, if I have this in my hand, I just use them as forest fodder, and you know, kind of extend my plays after that. And a lot of times, I know a lot of people struggle making the Sunrise Darklaw Plasma board, but for me, I kind of make it pretty consistent. It's just like a 2.5 card combo, and yeah, it's not really that difficult, especially if I have this Liquid or whatever in my hand, and already it's kind of easy to kind of go off. So even if I have this card in my hand, it's not a brick either, because I can just special him, and then I have an extra body on the board to, you know, extend my plays to maybe go into Plasma or whatever. And then we have the gold, the much expensive gold in the deck. Unfortunately, budget hero players might not be able to play him this year, because Konami decided to reprint Hidden Arsenal for some reason, because they're out of touch with what the community actually needs and wants. And, you know, my heart goes out to them, because, you know, these cards are very expensive. I'm fortunate to, you know, have money and have a decent job, so I'm able to afford these cards and look at them all the time. But you know, it's unfortunate, but I'm pretty sure hopefully next year you guys can get your reprints, and then these do get a rarity bump, like they come to Secret. I'll definitely get them as well too. And I don't really care, like what I buy hero cards regardless of the price and stuff. And then if it's a higher rarity, I'll use it, even if the older rarities are more expensive. I always like the secrets, the ultimate rares or whatever, and I need to get them for my deck, because, you know, that's the kind of player I am. You know, it was funny, like I was hearing Cali Muscle talking about the Cali effect, talk about you know, hero players, you know, like this, it's like, it's a fun deck, it's expensive as hell, and like you literally have to be Batman and to play this deck. Like Bruce Wayne, and I kind of find myself like that as well too. So you know, I guess I'm Bruce Wayne then. Play 2 Ash Blossom, so that's Yeah, it's pretty generic hand trap. It kind of hits all decks. I'm hoping that Konami will kind of give us an archetype hand trap, kind of like what Drytrons have, like with orange lights or something. Like I would drop this in a heartbeat. So like it would be even better if it was a mass hero, because hero players have been kind of clamoring for more main deck mass heroes. So if they're able to make what you call hand traps as mass heroes, oh man, that would be so beautiful. Definitely would raise the price of the deck as well too, which I guess nobody really needs. I play, and then that's it for the monsters. We play 3 mass change. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. We play mass heroes in this deck, and it is a hero deck, so you need 3 mass change. Play 3 Fusion Destiny. So it seems like a lot of people are arguing that this card shouldn't be played in the hero deck, but I think that's kind of been replaced by the 2 increase versus 1 increase debate and whether you should play Pot of Prosperity. Yeah, so again, like the guy who did top with the 1 increase and prosperities, he did play 3 Fusion Destiny, so that just goes to show you that the card is very valuable. It just adds way too much advantage, and especially if you get Nibiru or your plays get stopped, you have Fusion Destiny always to rely on. Play 1 Ecall, 1 Rota, 1 A Hero Lives. These are all pretty standard. I played the 1 Ecall because just for deck space, and I want to put more power cards in the deck. So I did play 3 Ecall for a long time, but yeah, it's just I need, in order to compete with the meta, and even rogue decks are pretty challenging nowadays. You need to have something more than just generic searchers and all that. So I kind of play all the hero monsters I want mostly, and then I have my 3 searchers in this. I have Hero Lives, Rhoda, and Ecall to kind of, just in case I need more. Play 1 Miracle Fusion, 1 Dark Calling, and 1 Polymerization. So these are all what you call searchable. I'm trying to get the first ed of this, but it's very expensive. But you know what? I have the Unleash, so, and it's still very beautiful, as you guys can see. So might as well just keep it for now. It's just a first edition marker on the, not really that big of a deal. Then I have the first ed LOB original polymerization. So this is a beaut. As you guys can see, I'm not a cheap hero player at all. So yeah, so we'll get to the rest of it. So we play 3 droplets. I heard through the grapevine there's an ultimate rare droplets coming, so I might upgrade that to that. We'll see. We'll see how droplets is actually going to be in the next meta, because I heard Drytrons is coming back, and then droplets doesn't really do too much against the traditional new Drytron board that's going to be coming. Like they sit on Ultimatinus, and then also 2 or 3 orange lights in hand, so they have like 2 negates in hand. So it's just yeah, so like I have to see kind of what's kind of going on with the meta. I might even bump this down maybe to 2 or whatever, we'll see. But yeah, but for now it's definitely really good. It's good against dinos, good against dragon links, good against every build, every single generic build your board kind of deck right now, which is quite a bit. Even against prank kids, it's good. You use it against the battle butler, you use it against the bird up board to stop the statue. So yeah, it's really, really good. It's a must-have in this if you want to play competitively. If you don't have the money for this, then you have to play Dark Ruler no more, and that's more of a going second strategy. So we play the 1 talents just in case you get your plays stopped. Yeah, it definitely comes up a lot. I see it a lot in my deck, surprisingly, because I only play 41 cards, where I get to see my power cards a lot. I just love 41 because I definitely get to see everything I want when I need it. And yeah, when you get Nibiru'd, and you have this card in your hand, you can still extend your plays. If you still have combo after Nibiru, you can just eat the Nibiru and then take a look at their hand, rip a card out, and get some hand knowledge. Also, yeah, I kind of you can use also against Dragoon or stupid cards like Zeus and all that. So definitely comes up. And then for the new edition that we're playing, so we have one Super Poly, and I grabbed the ulti of this as well too. Very beautiful. You'll get to see my extra deck. Why I kind of decided to play this, because I kind of made some extra changes to that as well too. And yeah, Super Poly. I had one more flex spot for just a generic card, and I found that I want to play the most powerful card I can at one, because I feel like everything else I kind of need. So yeah, I thought Super Poly is probably the best thing, because one of my weaknesses I was finding was when I was facing against zoo decks, like any zoo Tribegate or whatever, and they just normal summon a Zodiac monster. Like I just kind of, and I don't have plasma or anything on the board. I kind of just eat it, and they just break my board just by normal summon Zodiac monster, which pisses me the fuck off, because I hate Zodiac decks. It's just very low, like it just didn't, it did low investment and they get high reward. It just pretty much the normal a Zodiac monster. They go into Zeus and break everything and all, and it's just so irritating. So I was like, you know what? The only way I can think about stopping that is if I can have a set Super Poly at times. And most of the times with my hero boards, I have Sunriser, or even when I do my Fusion Destiny play, I have Liquid still on the field. So which is kind of good. If I use Super Poly with Liquid, I get to draw 2, discard 1 as well too. So yeah, my thought process is the second they get Zeus out, I just use Super Poly and to a target that you'll see in my extra deck, and then there I protect myself, and able to hopefully beat my opponent next turn and all that. I just hate Zeus so much. He also comes up against Dragoon as well too. So I found judging by what I can play as the last flex card and the bearing down the weaknesses of the deck, I felt that just playing Super Poly just in case my opponent is a Zoo player, or like they play even against Makaba, like I have a target against that as well too, and I actually won against that because with Super Poly alone. And yeah, I might bump this up to 2 next format, judging by how things are going, just because I'm noticing Tri-Brigade might be pretty strong as well too. But we'll see once that happens. And anyways, that was the main deck. So let's get to the extra deck. So I noticed this has kind of been going along, so I'll kind of go through this real quickly. That's the side deck. So play 2 Dark Claw. Pretty self-explanatory. These cards are super expensive. I think they're like 600-700 now and stuff. So that's what happens when Konami doesn't reprint a card, or like something's very rare, and everyone's been buying them out and stuff. So yeah, I'd like to look at these babies like once a week as well too, because they're just so beautiful. You play the 1 Mass Hero Blast. So I'm kind of on the fence with this. It does come up every now and then. It's kind of good when my opponent has what is it? When my opponent has like there can only be 1, because I do see a lot of Guru players every now and then, and I'm able to chain by mass changing Stratos into this, and able to flip the there can only be 1, because there can only be 1 kind of craps on the hero deck in general, especially if you're not playing a Dusted Golem Bane. But yeah, I'm thinking about switching him maybe to Great Tornado, and maybe bumping up the Super Poly next format, judging by how Tri-Brigade Lyralist or Zoo Tri-Brigade is doing, because they do play a lot of wind targets, and they do the Samoric block as well too, and then also What else? Prank Kids as well too. I'm kind of curious to see if Prank Kids is going to get hit because that's a very good deck as well too right now, and can use Great Tornado to hit what's that card? Battle Butler or something, or even as good against Appaloosa. So we'll see. We'll see. Play the one Acid for back row, Ab Zero to kind of combo together with. You destroy the monsters and you destroy the back row. Classic combo. Play one Sunrise. Pretty. It's your searcher for Miracle. Boost up your hero cards based on the attributes, and then also you get a pseudo pop, I guess, some pseudo protection if they attack anything other than Sunriser. Play the one Escuridao. This guy actually comes up quite a bit because I usually do need a dark target for Miracle, and just to go into Dark Claw and all that. So surprisingly, this has been kind of putting in work, even though it's got a crap effect. I pretty much just use him as an extender and for fusion material. And he kind of for Super Poly, I'm able to kind of go into what's his name, Dragoon, and also even Axos Code Talker. I've kind of noticed that if I want to out Axos Code Talker, because that can get pretty big as well too. I can get into Escuridao, especially with Super Poly and all that. And then yeah, this is the new card I'm playing in the deck, so I play the Shining. And yeah, he's all right. I kind of just use him for the light target in this deck because I very rarely do activate his second effect. I don't know what Konami was smoking. They should have errated this stupid one effect that they have, because very rarely can you activate that effect unless your opponent destroys this card, or you beat over unless you kind of crash into a card or destroy it yourself and all that, and then you get the recursion effect. But very rarely do that. Most of the time I'm kind of just using it to Super Poly into Zeus, Super Poly into Makaba, Super Poly into UCT. So pretty much I'm using Super Poly to kind of go into two different kind of targets. Well, three different kind of targets, actually four. I use Shining, Escuridao. I use also Destiny Hero target as well too. That's actually Super Poly, which not a lot of people realize as well too. And also like Sunrise as well. You just need two heroes of different attributes on the field, and then you can kind of pop off and maybe OTK. So that's kind of what I'm doing with that. And I found that I needed a flex spot, so I find this was kind of coming up. Trinity wasn't coming up that much, so he had to get cut just for some utility. And I was losing to normal summon Zoo a lot, so I thought this was kind of a way to combat that. We played the one Bane. Bane puts in work. Unfortunately, it's very expensive, the whole package still, for budget hero players. But yeah, if you want to play competitively, you have to play Bane. Case closed. Dystopia definitely is a really good card. I like to turbo Darklaw and Dystopia a lot, and that definitely puts in work for me. Also is really good against the Zoo matchup as well too, because Zoo Eldritch, you have Darklaw for the back row and for the Eldritch stuff, and then you use Dystopia Pop for the for the Zoo monster, the normal summon, and hope they don't have Barrage. Dangerous is actually another Super Poly target that people forget about, because you just need a Destiny Hero normal summon, so or special, whatever. I play Decider, and then you just Super Poly Dark on the field, so that your opponent has. So usually I actually did it with what's his name, Dragoon. And also, you can even do it with Axis Code or whatever dark target your opponent plays, and go off from there. And Dangerous is very, very slept on in the deck. He's a one card Plasma, one card Dark Claw. Yeah, definitely. He was also a one card what's his name, Trinity as well too, but I don't play Trinity anymore because it just wasn't coming up a lot. So you play the 2 crosses. Definitely need to play the 2 crosses in this deck. I wish we need a rarity bump as well too. I'm playing the Japanese cards because my locals is very chill, so they don't mind. But I know for a lot of people in regionals and stuff, you can't really get away with that. Dread Decimator. It comes up every now and then. It definitely, you get to boost up your hero cards. I like to do a lot of piercing as well too, and then yeah, it definitely comes up in mid to late games, and just in case you need to link something off, and you know, you can actually use this against Baguska a lot. It's kind of my out to Baguska. I just that solid players like to use, and then play the 1 Wonder Driver, which definitely does come up, and hero players shouldn't cut at all either. If you're a good hero player, you know how to use Wonder Driver properly, and because I do play Necrom and Mali, and I usually have those cards in the grave as well, I'm able to kind of use Wonder Driver a bit more than most other people. I go onto him a lot actually. It's just recycling Miracle like 2 or 3 times, and yeah, it helps a lot. Go with a side real quickly. So you play 3 exchange. Yeah, this is kind of why we're not really scared of Nibiru. Definitely puts in work. Yeah, it also gives you hand knowledge, which is very, very important. We learned that all from the Infernobles deck and when it was meta and stuff. So, and hand knowledge is very key. We play the 3 Drolls, because Drolls is very important in this format. It's probably going to be important in the next format too, because I don't think Drytrons are getting hit anytime soon, especially since they got the support. As you can see, it's absolutely beautiful. I got the German ulti over there. You know, if you can, always get foreign ultis because they're way better than North American. If you can't, then, you know, North American ultis are still pretty nice too, but still. Yeah, and then Droll is just very good against the meta in general. It's just good against Rocket Links. Good against pretty much every deck in a way. Even Dinos is kind of decent as well too, because they do play pots and they need to add, so you can kind of stop their plays on that. It's good against our deck as well too, which unfortunately every single hand trap in the meta hurts our deck kind of. But if you're a real hero player, you can rise above and play through them. Play the 3 Cosmics. So, you know, as you can see, I've had these for a while. These are pretty beautiful, and these are really good in the format as well too, because Eldritch is still a thing. You want to banish the traps and spells because you don't want them to have grave effects, which they seem to do nowadays. You can even use this to banish Invocation just so that your opponent can't use that. Use it to banish Meltdown is kind of what I do at times as well. We play 2 Meisters because, yeah, like I wasn't really liking Lancia too much, to be honest. Like it felt like a dead card against Dragon Links. They kind of would just keep on going most of the time. So a lot of Dragon Link players, like unless they had all chaos cards in their hand, it felt like a -1 when I was playing against Dragon Links. And then also this card is really good against Prank Kids as well too, and then also Dinos still. So yeah, I just found that I like this card better. And yeah, we'll see how the meta goes. I might take them out again, but maybe I might boost them up to collector rares, but those are going up to like 150, 200 right now. So I might just keep these beautiful secrets that I have because they do look pretty. Lightning Storms for back row, you know, pretty self-explanatory. Play the 1 Harpy Feather Duster, and then for back row as well too, and then Red Reboot, which is usually a win card when I resolve it. So that was my hero deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, if you guys had any questions, you know, like, comment, subscribe, and then if you guys want anything, let me know as well too. I can always do another combo tutorial video, show you some test hands with this current deck that I have right now. But anyways, yeah, thanks for watching the profile, and stay tuned for more content in the future. All right, take care, guys. Bye.